What is up, podcast world? My name is Austin, and this is my lovely fiance,
Erin.
and we are the hosts of this new podcast called Beyond Boundaries. Erin, what is Beyond Boundaries? What does it stand for? Give us a little glimpse at what we are to get.
Yeah, we're here to just share the basis of everything with relationships, from dating, singleness, engaged, marriage. I know that's
Everything
a
in
little backwards,
between.
but all the things.
Yeah, and it's going to be great because this is something that I think the Lord has pushed us to do, because our story, which we're going to share with you guys today, is, I don't know if is it conventional? It's not really conventional. No one really thinks of it going this way, but this is how it's been for us, and we want to dive deeper into the heart of purity before the Lord, because I think as a generation, and just as Christians in general, we get caught up in this dating culture of Christianity where it's, man pursues the woman, but no one knows what that means. Or it's, how do we stay pure? How do we not cross these boundaries? But we know that from our relationship, from our experience, and from our individual relationship with the Lord, that purity is far beyond just these boundaries, these walls you put in place. Purity before the Lord is giving him your heart. It's giving him everything that you have to offer. And it's not necessarily these walls or these laws or these like things and rules that you put in place. But it goes way deeper than that, because that's what the Lord wants. He wants your heart. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let's, what are we going to be talking about today?
I don't know. What are we talking about today?
Well, let's tell them what let's tell them a bit about our story.
This is so fun.
This is great. I'm having fun. When did we meet? Quick rundown of how we became engaged. Bling.
How did we meet? Yes, we met in college. We became friends. We were just friends for a really long time.
But I actually thought she hated me for a quick season of that.
No, didn't. But it quickly... No, it didn't quickly. It was several years, but turned into not being just friends.
Yeah.
So newsflash, everyone: guys and girls can't be just friends. Oops, sorry.
It's impossible. Like, I will say, like, it's Erin and I were best friends. We never actually intended to date. Anytime that she would even come into conversation, which our friends would talk about us all the time, say like, "Why aren't y'all dating?" And we never considered it. And like I always like poke fun at Erin and be like, "No, you liked me," and then she'd be like, "No, you liked me," but
I've never said that. I've never said you liked me.
Well, I mean, but there were occasions where I was like, like hugging you or like keeping you close. But it's like, it's all these things. We never actually considered a dating relationship together until it happened. And I don't know, the heart behind that was always keeping friendship before anything. We never intended to become more than friends. And I think because we did that, we got to know each other better than I think anybody. Because in my past failed relationships that I always sought my own, it was tough. Erin was there through it all. The reason we got close was because we were both going through a breakup at like the same time.
Different people,
yeah. And it was not, we didn't break up. It was a tough season. It was very dark for me, dark for you too.
Yeah.
And we leaned on each other, and that was what, junior year? Sophomore year?
No, junior year.
Junior year. And we didn't even consider dating each other, even during that period.
We just walked together, like supported each other through
like
that.
Best friends. And it wasn't until after, like the month after senior year ended, that we actually, like,
He made his move.
I made the move. Guys, you got to make the first move. Like, we are called to be men and lead, and the women, you want us to lead, don't you? Like, you want us to step out of our comfort zone and make the first move.
Yeah.
Because it's not fun to wait around.
I wasn't really waiting around though for you.
Right. But like, yeah, whatever. It's not comfortable for anyone for the guy not to make the first move. Like, it's not fun. And I don't know where I was going with that, but
you did make the first move, and it made us not just friends, and we're super blessed by that.
Yeah. And God had his hand in it since the beginning. I think that's why he allowed us to build our friendship
Totally.
first, because I think that's a pillar that's what I was saying. In my old relationships, it was never an important pillar to me.
Yeah.
Friendship, I thought, would come later. Like, I thought it would be, start dating the person because you think they're attractive, and then over time, friendship would develop. And that eases the fear of, okay, what if we break up?
Yeah.
And I think I always approach approach relationships with this fear of, oh, well, it's probably not going to work out. So best not to be friends with the girl
Right,
beforehand. But that was complete opposite with Erin, because you wanted to be in a relationship with your best friend.
Yeah, that was something I always prayed for most of my life, that I would date and marry my best friend, and so I got that, and that's been a huge blessing.
Yeah, and I have found why that's important, because I didn't value that before. And just to give you a glimpse of both of our family situations, both of our sets of parents are divorced, and that's played a big role in both of our stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm speaking for both of us when I say, like, the big fear was divorce. Like, I don't want to follow in my parents' footsteps.
Yeah.
And so how do I have enough confidence to make sure that who I'm choosing is going to stick with me for life? And this goes back to even before we were dating. Just throughout our friendship, when people would talk about Erin, I would always say she would make a good wife. And I told her that even before we started dating, that I knew she'd make a good wife. I just didn't know she'd be my wife. But I'm very grateful for that, because I know that she is the type of woman that Proverbs 31 talks about, that has a character that belongs to the Lord and is refined by him every single day. And I love you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I love you.
Wow. I'm about to cry.
But yeah, that's just a little bit of our story, and hopefully we get to share a lot more of it, and just how the Lord has worked throughout this relationship. It's definitely all been in his hand, and he's just crafted it so uniquely, and we're still learning and looking back to see all the ways that he has led us to this moment. So it's really exciting, and we're excited to share our wisdom and our advice through the bad and the ugly, because I think, as most of us know, relationships aren't perfect, and so we just want to be honest and transparent about things that we could have done better, things that we are looking forward to, just things that I feel like a lot of couples maybe don't share. We just want to be open and authentic and be real, because I think that is really helpful to other people. I appreciate when other people are really just open and vulnerable about those things. So that's what we want to do.
And that's what Erin was the one that brought it up it was a long time ago, that you said we should be people who, I don't know if it was a podcast specifically, but that we should go forward in making content of whatever it was, that we documented our experience as fiancés, as engaged couple, because too many times we get caught up in this, okay, we see all these pastors or whoever, like teachers and content creators, making videos talking about their past as fiancés, but they're not talking about it as they go on. And it's easier to look back and say, oh, well, we messed up here, and but God got us.
When you've got through the finish line, you're like, oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
but I feel like now we're in it, and we want to be honest about the things that we're struggling with while we're in it.
And we want to grow with you guys seeing it, because that's what Christianity needs, is a true return to authentic, genuine, and like we can't disciple you guys because it's a podcast, but like hopefully the wisdom that God pours into us is able to refine you and show you how, even in our failures, how you and us, how we can grow from them. So that's beyond boundaries. That's our heart. We're like 12 minutes in. Let's do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
We don't have to get too deep in theology, but Erin, theology. Erin Wood.
Oh.
Will you marry me?
Oh. Been there, done that. Already said no twice.
That's a lie.
Just kidding. Said yes.
Yeah. What do you think about the one? Because we hear in Christian dating culture, the one. I'm waiting for the one. Well, God just needs to bring me the one. What is that real? Does the one exist?
So no.
Oh.
I just don't think the one exists. I do think I found the one whom my soul loves, which is cheesy. But I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, the one is Jesus.
Yeah.
He is the way, the truth, and the life. And I think that he is like the truest love that we'll ever know. And he's the one, he's the one that our hearts should go after. And I think that it's such a gift that he has given us the ability to love other people and to get married and to be in community. Like, we know we're not meant to do this life alone, but at the end of the day, all we need is him.
Yeah.
And so I think he is our one.
He's our first love. And I agree, absolutely. And I think also to that point of the one, finding the one, looking for the one, I experienced this revelation with the Lord that the one isn't someone you find, but it's someone you become. It's not someone you find, but it's someone you become. When in Genesis, when the writer is talking about the man shall leave his family and become united and with his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, it's becoming the one, not finding the one. So I flip that on its head, that yes, Jesus is the one that we should be pursuing. And because we're pursuing him, as we're waiting and being faithful with what he's given us in our singleness, he will one day like this is from Ben Stewart's book, Single, Dating, Engaged, Married. He'll turn our heads to the side and we'll find that there is someone running at the exact same pace as us. That's what I think the one references. It's not some magical person who is designed just for you, because that devalues your significant other. That's saying that they were made for me, like Erin was made just for me. No, but Erin was made for God. And so, yes, we have become, well, we haven't yet, but when we get married, we will become one. So the one isn't someone you find, it's someone you become. That's my take. I think that wraps it all up. Okay, another question coming to my mind. I lost it. Do you have a question?
No, but I want to kind of circle back.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like with the one, though, people are waiting on relationships, and I think that there are certain ways that you can do that rightly, and I think that as you look at Jesus, that you should, in dating relationships, like, look for someone who looks like Jesus and makes you more like Jesus too.
Yeah, it's the process of sanctification. That's really good. I don't have anything else. What was it that we were talking about before we pressed record?
What was it?
I don't know. Praying.
Praying together.
I had this conversation with one of my friends, and he brought this up. Should Christians, as they're dating, like starting out dating, like, should you pray together? Or like, should, more than just prayer, I think, we're going into beyond boundaries, beyond just prayer, like any spiritual practice. Should you go to church together? Should you go to the same small group together? Oh gosh, we're about to be here for another 20 minutes. Start with prayer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you should pray together. I think you should definitely pray separately, and it's vital that the two of you have your own relationships with God, your own prayer life, and that you're hopefully praying for your significant other. That was something I didn't always do. Like, I didn't think to pray for my future husband. I always kind of felt like if I did that, I was like longing for it too much, and I realized that that's just not true. And it's really sweet when you actually get to do that, and then he does come into your life, and that has been a thing that you've been doing. And so I think, if y'all are both dating very intentionally, it's one thing when people are dating just for fun, but
they wouldn't even be the ones that would consider praying together.
Right. So
you wouldn't be watching this podcast if you're just dating for fun.
I think that you should be praying together, and I feel like it could maybe feel a little bit awkward and uncomfortable at first. I'm not saying like right out of the gate, like you pick her up, open the door, and you're like, let's pray. Like,
just go hard. No.
No.
I don't know if I fully agree with like you should seek out to pray with the significant other.
I think it should come natural. I don't think it should be like forced.
Like, it should come over time naturally as you progress, as you see yourself in a future with this person. Because I think you can idolize it and be like, okay, well, even as a guy, be like, okay, let me just lead us in prayer, and like it just get really weird really quick, and we don't want to be weird, and we want to be honest and open with our partner, even if you're just dating. I think you should strive to pray to the Lord individually above all. And I think if you're just starting out dating, you can pray together over like a meal or something like that. But
I don't think it's something that needs to be avoided or like aggressively.
Oh wait, no, but I thought of something. this is a problem that maybe people could take away from this, that they would be like, okay, well, I'm going to pray with my significant other and be like, God, would you just make us ready for marriage? Like, you don't want to don't be weird. Don't get it twisted. That should be our slogan. Don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Yeah.
Keep Austin weird.
Keep Austin weird. Don't be weird, but I'll be weird. But don't like pray over, because I think people can take that the wrong way and be like, oh God, thank you for giving me Erin as my wife.
It can be overwhelming. It can be an overwhelming.
Yeah.
And like make it be like, is this real? Is this genuine? I think over time as you date, those things come up naturally.
Right.
Like things that you like it's inevitable that hard things pop up. And so to
Yeah.
have, the other person that you like feel comfortable going to about prayer is really important. I don't think though I don't really think that there's a question whether or not, should dating couples pray together? I think duh.
You're right.
I think it's just duh. But I think it will come over time.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be forced.
And then I guess beyond prayer, going into like small groups and all of that realm.
I'm pretty passionate.
We're gonna go no with that. I'm gonna stick
no.
with all guys. She's gonna stick with all girls, because there's just so much more vulnerability that, like, if I'm struggling with something that's a guy related issue and I go to a small group with my girlfriend, I'm gonna be this big old bold guy who like, I don't struggle with anything, and it's gonna be a lie, and you're gonna make your relationship crumble even before it like progresses. So go to a guy's small group if you're a guy. Go to a girl's small group if you're a girl. And even with church, going to church together, it's nice. If you go to the same church, like, go, but still, I would prioritize being in godly guy community and godly girl community. Go to church with your girls. Go to church with your boys.
It's seasonal.
Yeah.
Like it's, there's a time and place for that. When you're married, you go to church together. You do those things together.
Right.
And even, I think, engagement, as we're walking through that now, we're finding that's kind of a harder thing to navigate. Because you're not dating. You have much more, you have the commitment of marriage without the covenant of marriage.
Wow.
And
Clip that.
And so that's hard, And so I think in dating, you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to get married, and hopefully you're doing that well. And we would love to be able to share more about that, but we could literally talk about that for hours.
Yeah, this would be an hour-long podcast.
But I think that a wise thing to do to guard your heart, to better your relationship, is to, and of course, everyone's relationship looks different. Maybe you did start out in a small group together, or you run in the same circles, and that's awesome. Like, you should be dating your friends.
You should. No,
you should date a friend.
Not all of them. Well,
you did.
Okay.
But anyway, just kidding. Well, no.
Not really.
Okay. Anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know.
You don't know.
But
wasn't listening to me.
No.
But it's seasonal.
Seasonal, right.
So I think in dating, it's very wise to go to church on your own. I think the way I've always viewed it is like when you take someone home to church. Like, I come from not a small town, but it's kind of small, and our church is just like family. And so anytime people would like bring a boy home to church from
That's
like
like
college,
a big deal.
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And I think that it should have some more weight to it.
I agree with that. That's really wise.
And because you're not one yet, you're not, your souls aren't connected yet in church. And so I just think it's really wise to pursue the community on your own, because you need that accountability with, like, women need women accountability and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that there is a time and place, though, when you and your significant other become that accountability for each other. And that's something that we're still trying to balance now as an engaged couple. But I think it's just really, that's why it's so important to have that community by your side who can help you navigate that.
Yeah. I think that's the easiest way to combine everything. It's the structure. It's you and God first, then you and your community. And while you're dating, then it's you and your significant other, because you don't want to use each other as each other's like savior complex. Like you don't want to base your faith off of your significant other. Say like we just got started dating and I'm coming in all fiery and you're not, or vice versa. It's going to be like, what happens then if you do break up?
Yeah.
And your relationship with God was only based on your relationship with your significant other and their fire. You're going to have no fire and you're going to burn out.
I mean, that goes back to, I know this is a hot topic, goes back to like why Christians aren't supposed to date non-believers.
Yikes.
We'll get to that another time.
That's like a whole podcast episode on itself.
It is, but might drop. Whoop.
Okay, well, I think that's good. We're at like 20 something minutes.
Yeah.
I think this was fun. Okay. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. This is episode 1 of Beyond Boundaries. Yeah.
We hope it's encouraging, and we want to be a place to talk about hard things and just be real and honest and vulnerable.
Yep. Amen.
Honest and vulnerable, same thing, but
kind of different.
Whatever.
Okay, so we need to go get engagement photo shoot now.
Yep.
She's got to go get ready for like 3 hours. I'm gonna sit here, edit the video. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.